Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. I hope that you have gotten your day off to a good start. I hope that you had a profitable and prosperous week. And how you define that is really truly up to you. We tend to climb inside of these boxes that other people have designed, and we try to live our lives from the perspective of others. And we find ourselves being miserable and frustrated because we're not defining for ourselves what success and happiness and fulfillment mean to us. And we each have this unique design that is indicative of our purpose here. And fulfillment comes from living in your purpose, functioning from a place that you are literally designed to function from. What is successful for someone else will not be successful for you. Success is going, now you can do things and achieve success at it, but the feeling of being successful, what we may call fulfillment, comes from operating in your own purpose and in achieving success based on the intricacies and specificity of your design. And so that is something that I encourage you to do. Search yourself, discover who you are, what you are, and why you are, and live in it daily. And you will see a huge difference. I'm not going to be too long here because I have an 8:30 session, so I need to go ahead and knock this out. But I didn't want to wait till after the session because today's a busy day. But look, don't forget, we're doing the master class, personal placement master class, meaning that you get in where you fit in, adheres to your schedule. But the master class, and the information is in the description box or the post box, depending on where you're watching this at. When you, if you are a person or you know someone that you really care about that struggles with anxiety, panic attacks, fear, worry, stress, that is a cognitive reality. It is a result of, in many cases, cognitive distortions, cognitive biases, the reflection of a poor belief system, and poor belief systems leads to poor expectations. Expectations create what I call diametric anticipation. In other words, anticipation is normally something that's viewed as being positive. You anticipate, success. You anticipate a wonderful marriage. You anticipate business growth and all these things. But you can have a disruptive or a limiting belief system that backs you into a box, and based on experiences, based on observation, based on what other people have told you over and over again to the point you believed it, that creates these negative expectations. Or now you're anticipating problems. Okay, now we got worry, and then when worry spirals out of control, it becomes anxiety and it begins to impact you physically. And so don't forget, you can enroll in that course at any time. Go ahead, get signed up. Now let's talk about today's rule for success. Saturday is the rule for success day. Let's talk about the rule for success. This is not going to take long. There have been a number of studies that have been done to discover the commonality between people who are successful, whether it's in sports, whether it's in finance, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in whatever arena area a person excels at. What's the commonality between them? What bridges this thing? And what bridges it is pretty simple, not necessarily easy, but pretty simple. And it's a principle that I consistently use with my clients. And it's simply known as the principle of progress. And it comes from a study by Dr. Teresa Amabile, who is the director of research for Harvard School of Business. She's also a professor at the school. And she did some research, and it was called The Power of Small Wins. And it was studying primarily behavior and emotional fulfillment, psychological fulfillment, motivation, and a number of different elements within the workplace primarily. And what she was doing was determining the common factor of those who excel in in their workspace. And what she determined was something the most powerful and common influencer of a sense of well-being in all of those areas, emotional, motivation, inspiration, creativity, is simply the sense of making progress in meaningful work. And so it's not the hitting of a major goal, as most people think. I got this goal, and you're sitting there and you're focused on this goal and you're buried into it. It's not a goal. It's not the certain amount hitting your bank account. It is the ability to recognize progress, no matter how minute. And so that's what I teach my clients. I teach my clients, say, look, every day you need to be able to be aware of where you've grown, where you've progressed in the things that matter to you most. And when you're able to see and observe that, that will be a natural sense of fulfillment that comes. One of the problems with chasing goals is that your goals are set out in front of you, 90-day goals, 6-month goals, 1-year goals, and beyond. And the thing is, what happens in those 89 days before the 90th day? What happens if you get to the 90th day and you still have not achieved the goal? You know, that you have to ask yourself that. Well, what happens is, and one of the reasons why I'm able to function the way I do, I've told you this before, that my mentor told me 30 years ago that you're going to do exceptional in life in anything you accomplish because you have the ability to fail forward and it not impact you. What he was saying is, I set these unbelievably huge goals that people look at and shake their head. And they're looking at the fact that I'm probably not going to hit this 90-day goal as a failure. I'm looking at it, I'm setting it so far out that it places a sense of urgency on me so that there's no casual time in my day where I can sit up and just say, I'm going to chill. I don't have that. What I have is an urgency. I wake up every day. The chance of me hitting it from a mathematical or numerical standpoint is not very high. When you run the numbers, what I've put out in front of me is so huge. But see, the thing is, psychologically, I can handle not hitting it because I'm not paying attention to the goal as much as I am the progress I'm making daily. That's where I get my fulfillment. That's where I get my motivation. That's where I get the strength and the passion to stand up and wake up the next day, because yesterday I made progress. Now, eventually, I understand by the simple laws of the universe that if I continue to make progress, I may not hit that goal in 90 days, but I'm going to hit it because I'm making progress. See, I focus on the progress, and the progress, if you give an intent to grow and be better at something, you're going to make progress. It just happens. It just is. You will make progress if you commit to doing something, and then you focus on something. And the thing is, when you look around you, there's a world of chaos going on. No matter what, whether you're in traffic, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're at home. Matter of fact, home is the perfect training ground to learn how to manage chaos. It's a chaos, but it's a natural chaos. You got kids in the house that each one of them has their own needs, own desires, needs their own space in order to feel secure and comfortable. Each one of them wants to go somewhere and do something. It's only 2 parents in the household, if you're lucky. And all of this is going on. There's bills that are coming. There are future desires and all of these things that are out there, and you're trying to figure out a way to make it all happen. That's chaos. What the home trains you for, when you learn you got to learn how to let the noise around you dissipate and become focused, centered. At a point of being lasered in and focused on what it is you want to accomplish. What is the most important thing? See, I don't have a day that just goes, everything goes my way. You know, when I have one of those days, it actually makes me nervous because normally you get blindsided the next day or the next week. You know, normally what I have is a day that I wake up with an intention to get something done. It's not everything, there are a bunch of to-dos, but I only got one that I'm going to give all my focus, and no matter what, that one thing's getting done. And then everything else I'm going to take as it comes. But then what happens is when I get that one thing done, despite all, one thing that happens is that when I get that one thing done, or I'm centered on that one thing and I see I'm making progress, all the noise around me isn't as disturbing or distracting because I'm focused. Second of all, when the things come that I'm not happy about or I don't like, I don't become frenetic and unglued because I still have a sense of control. Why? The thing I set out to do, I got done. Now everything else I deal with based on its prevalence and priority in my life. I don't sit up and see what happens is one of the most necessary skills that you have to develop in order to have success in any area of life is to remain calm in the midst of chaos. And, you know, people look at me like, and I've been accused so much of being in denial because I don't become frenetic, unglued, lose it, go off the edge because things aren't going my way. I remain calm because I understand it is in my calmness that I have the strongest connection to divine intellect, to divine knowledge, to the intelligence of God, the mind of God, the mind of the universe, however you view it. It is in the calmness because the more nervous I become, the more anxious I become, the more frenetic and worried I become, the more stressed my body becomes, the more it senses threat, even though there's no real physical threat, it senses threat. And now it begins to move into a state of fight or flight, which means it robs my the executive functioning part of my brain, the prefrontal cortex, of oxygen and blood flow. Now it's not functioning right because it's off. It's literally gone offline. The more worried and stressed I become, the more offline my prefrontal cortex is. Here's the problem when the frontal lobe goes offline. No impulse control, no reason, no rationale, no ability to think critically or laterally, no creativity. So what's happening now? I'm at the mercy of the reactive mechanisms of my body. And that tends to make it spiral out of control because the body can't rescue itself. The brain has to send some message to the body to bring it back. Now that's the thing called embodied cognition, and you used your posture to settle, to settle the situation with your mind and your body. But you have to be able to get that triggered. And the more you go offline, the harder it is to do. And this is things that I do. I work with my clients with being able to recognize when you're going offline and how to stop it, how to recognize it. That's a great deal of what I'm teaching in this conquering anxiety, worry, and stress class. You can add fear to that because it's just another derivative. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is this. Sometimes we make the things we're trying to do so huge that they become overwhelming. Now, when I sit down, I have goals that go out from 90 days on. Then I have micro goals that start with days and hours that I'm going to get this done by this time today. I'm going to get this done by this time, this hour. So I have that. But here's the thing. That's great, but I've got to live every day and I've got to have something that I can stand on, because imagine the only time you got to celebrate your successes was at the reaching of a goal. So that's 90 days, that's once, 6 months, that's twice, in a year. Let's say that's how you set your goals. That's 3 times in 365 days that you get to celebrate. How are you keeping yourself motivated, inspired, and literally fulfilled in those other 362 days? So what you have to learn to do is be able to recognize your growth, your progress, how you are growing. And see, now what you have to also understand is that your progress is not inextricably connected to your achievements. Your progress is something that no external force can stop. No external force can stop me from learning something new today. I can see something that I can learn in every encounter. If the internet goes down, it doesn't stop me. If somebody comes in and takes all the books, it doesn't stop me. Why? Because even that encounter teaches me something. Learn how to extract lessons out of every encounter, and you will grow every day. And it will put you in a situation, my goodness, it'll put you in a situation to where you can learn. So with that being said, look, like I said, I've got to get off here. Those are my warnings not to go over so I can be prepared for my session. Man, I would love to work with some of the people that show up on these threads on a regular day. And hopefully one day I will. But this is what you need to do. Oh, before I forget, I'm really excited about this. We are starting the pre-order for my next book release, which is I Am. I am, and the subtopic of the book is the 2 most powerful words in the English lexicon. Really, we're talking about declarations for your life. The words you speak that follow I am are literally the declarations that you're making on your life. So you got to be careful with that. And we're going to go deeply into that from a number of different perspectives in this book. I'm excited about what it looks like. So pre-order started yesterday. I'll share a link with you guys a little later today, but I'm excited about that. That's book number 21. But now back to closing out this. Look, you have to understand that in order for you to really truly be effective in this world, you have to assume and protect your personal sovereignty. You have to stop acquiescing to the suggestions of negative influencers and situations in your life that will suggest something other than what you know you are. So you have to have a sense of who you are, a sense of why you are, and then you must be committed to living it and protecting it. And so when something comes along, you're not tossed about and disrupted because of it, because you know who you are. There has to be an ability to maintain calm in the midst of chaos. And you have to be the driving force in this. No one else can rescue you from your own fears but you. From the things that stress you out and worry you. You have to develop that. So that's my encouragement. Look at the small things. Small things over time become huge things. The easiest way to build yourself and grow yourself is not in huge chunks and things of that nature. It's in a steady, committed process of this is what I'm going to commit to being better every day. Even if it's just an hour, every day I'm going to read 30 minutes and I'm going to study something maybe on a video or an audio for 30 minutes every day, and watch what will happen over the course of a year. You will have this unbelievable growth that because of your consistent commitment to being better, that you are light years ahead of where you are now. That's a commitment to growth. There has to be an intent in growing and determining and dictating how. With that being said, let me get out of here. I'm not even close to finishing this, but like I said, you can get all of it if you enroll in the Conquering Anxiety, Worry, and Stress masterclass. The link and everything is in there. But in the meantime, look, keep your head on, focus on what it is you want to do, and take those small steps that you are in control of. Things are going to happen that you're not in control of. That's going to be on a daily basis. The way that you maintain sanity, the way that you maintain momentum, the way that you intentionally and perpetually grow is to focus on the things you control. The first thing you control is how you respond to adversity. That's your decision. That's a choice. And then determine how you're going to enhance yourself. That's a choice. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. As I always say, as I always say, live your life on full so that you die on E. With that being said, I'm out of here. You guys have a great day. I'll probably be back a little later though.